it on. There we go. I would like to welcome you to the Village of Champlain Music in the Park. I am delighted to introduce the Strawhatters. This is our community band, and enjoy the music tonight. Thank you all for coming. Thank you very much, Janet, and thank you everyone for being here on such a gorgeous night. It's not 95 degrees with 100% humidity. It's just beautiful for a concert. Our first selection tonight is the Lexington March. Ohio native and self-taught composer Carl King started his musical career with circus bands where he wrote several circus marches. Initially a cornet player, he later switched to euphonium. With this euphonium experience, he always made sure to predominantly feature the low brass in many of his marches. Much of his career was spent in Fort Dodge, Iowa, where he conducted the Carl King Band. Here is the Lexington March.
Yeah, you're the yoga teacher. I'm the hip replacement too.
Since 1995, the creative team at Pixar Studios has given us heartwarming stories and unforgettable characters that appeal to audiences of all ages. In addition, the music created for these films has become an integral part of each character's charm and popularity. Our next selection, Pixar movie Magic, has a terrific arrangement of several melodies that you will recognize. You've Got a Friend in Me from Toy Story, The Spirit of Adventure from Up, The Glory Days from The Incredibles, The Big Race from Cars, and the Ratatouille main theme. Here is Pixar movie Magic. Robert Sheldon is known for compositions that embody a level of expression that resonates within the ensembles as they are played. Besides being a well-known composer in the concert band world, his music is performed around the world and frequently appears on many international concert and contest lists. This next selection by Robert Sheldon is In the Shining of the Stars. Over the years, throughout all the movies that have been created, there have been some wonderful themes that have been composed by various composers. Our next selection is called Great Movie Marches. It is a collection of 4 movie themes that you will most likely recognize. The first is the River Kwai March that was composed by Malcolm Arnold for the film. The Bridge on the River Kwai, which is Colonel Hathai's March from the Jungle Book. And I'm sure you'll recognize Star Trek, the motion picture, and the last one is Raiders March from Indiana Jones and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Here is Great Movie Marches. next selection we will play is called Danny Boy. This beautiful Irish folk tune is sometimes called the National Ballad of Ireland and is one of the best known and beloved ballads of all time. Many musicians over the years have performed Danny Boy, including Judy Garland, Glenn Miller and his orchestra, Andy Williams, and Charlotte Church. Our version this evening is arranged by Warren Barker. Here is Danny Boy. this time in the program, we would like to recognize those people who have served for our country in one of the branches of the armed forces. When you hear the theme of your branch, if you would like to stand, that would be great, or raise your hand so that you can be recognized, and everyone else, please give them a round of applause as they do so. Or if you have a spouse, a child, or a relative, a friend, neighbor who has served your country but is not in attendance this evening, feel free to be recognized for them. The selections that you will hear in this piece tonight will be the U.S. Army, United States Coast Guard, Marines Hymn, United States Air Force, and the United States Navy. Here is Armed Forces Salute. Thank you. How about one more round of applause for those who have served our country? Before we play our next selection, I'd like to just tell you a little bit about Strawhatters Community Band. It started in 1945 in Rouse's Point as the Rouse's Point Community Band, actually, and then over some years it migrated down to Shazy, and sometime in there it became the Strawhatters Community Band and has been that way ever since for many, many years. Many musicians have been part of this band over the years, and this year has been exceptional. We've had over 50 people on the roster this summer, so it's been absolutely awesome, averaging about 40 to 45 at a performance, so that's just absolutely wonderful. So the ages within the ensemble range from, we have students going into 9th grade, so they're about 14, and the oldest member is, we'll say approximately 80. So as you can tell, there's a huge range. Huge range in age, and if any of you who are in the audience have played a musical instrument in the past and say, hey, I haven't played in a while, we have members of this band this year who started playing their instruments after 20, 30, and even 40 years away from the instrument. So if you played a instrument at some point in time and you might be interested, you can see me. I have a flyer that I can give you so you can be on part of our mailing list for the next year in 2023. Also, if you are sitting there, and many of you are probably from the Rouse's Point, Champlain area, but if you're thinking, hey, I have an event next calendar year where we might like some entertainment, I also have information if you would be interested in contacting us about booking us for another event next year. So please see me after the concert if you might be interested. Our next selection is called 5'2" Eyes of Blue. It's an American popular song that achieved its greatest popularity in the 1920s. Accounts of who originally composed 5'2" Eyes of Blue vary, particularly since the song, especially its lyrics, have been modified. Some sources state that Percy Wenrich wrote the music and Jack Mahoney the lyrics in 1914. Credit for the most popular version of the song, though, is given to Ray Henderson for the music and Sam Lewis and Joseph Young for the lyrics. It was this version that was recorded by the California Ramblers in 1925. Here it's 5'2" Eyes of Blue. Our next selection, Rhythm of the Winds, was composed by Frank Erickson, and this is a popular standard in the concert band repertoire. This piece displays bright and energetic rhythms and throughout the entire piece. Here is Rhythm of the Winds. next selection, God Bless America. Irving Berlin wrote this song in 1918 while serving in the United States Army at Camp Upton, but decided it didn't fit for any venue, so he set it aside. In 1938, with the rise of Adolf Hitler, he revived God Bless America as a peace song, and it was introduced on Armistice Day in 1938 on that broadcast sung by Kate Smith on her radio show. God Bless America has become known as Kate Smith's signature tune. Our next selection, Music for a Darkened Theater, has an unmistakable and distinct style as because it is the music of Danny Elfman. It is found in many classic offbeat and spooky movies. This selection features the themes from Edward Scissorhands, The Nightmare Before Christmas, Spider-Man, Beetlejuice, and Tales from the Crypt. Here is Music for a Darkened Theater. Frederick Joseph Ricketts was born in 1881 and was an English composer of marches for band. Under the pen name of Kenneth J. Elford, he composed marches which are considered to be great examples of this art. His early musical training had been on playing the piano and the organ and working at St. Paul's Church, which still stands today. As a boy living in London's East End, he would often hear street musicians and bands, including German bands and early Salvation Army bands. Fascinated by the sound of instruments, Ricketts determined that the best course for his future would be to join an army band. He became a bandmaster in the British Army and the Royal Marines Director of Music. Some referred to him as the British March King. Here is Army of the Nile. Our next selection and our final selection before we play the anthems is, again, written by Carl King, and we started with Carl King, and I didn't even plan that until I was doing my program notes, and I realized that, so how ironic is that? The next selection we will play is Walking Frog. It was originally written as circus music for clown walkabouts by Carl King. It has a ragtime flavor with infectious rhythms and attractive melodies. I'm sure you'll be wanting to tap your toe on this one. Here's Walking Frog. This time I would like to thank all of you for being in attendance tonight. It's been a beautiful evening to have a concert. We had a couple of concerts this season that were pretty sweltering, so it was, but what a beautiful evening you chose, Janet, so good for you. So I would like to thank Janet for inviting us here and for supporting us, and obviously to bring all of you out. So she does great things for the village of Champlain, so thank you so much, Janet. I would like to recognize Bob's Music for the loan of this sound system. So if any of you do any business at Bob's Music with Manson Glover, feel free to mention that we are using the system and how wonderful it is that he was willing to loan it to us for the summer. So that is really good. I would also like to acknowledge all the band members for all the hard work that they have put in. They are all volunteers, and they come to rehearsals. We've done, I think this is about our 5th concert We have a couple of concerts left, and we have a couple of parades left for the season. So they're just so dedicated and always willing to work and play new music. Just to give you an idea, we have about just over 30 tunes in our folder that we play, so that we're always alternating tunes for most of the concerts. So they're just so great to work with, and I really thank them very much for being so wonderful. Give them a round of applause. We end all of our concerts with the playing of O Canada and then the Star Spangled Banner. Thank you again for being such a great audience, and maybe we'll see you at a future performance. Thank you.
The Strawhatters at Earl Park, August 10th, 2022.
I brought